August 2nd, 2023, end of day, Wednesday. Our Father who delights in his servant. The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verses 1 to 2 says this. Here is my servant whom I uphold, my chosen one, in whom I delight. I will put my spirit on him, and he will bring justice to the nations. He will not shout or cry out, or raise his voice in the streets. First, this passage records the Lord pointing out and introducing his servant to the people, which is echoed in Matthew chapter 3, verse 3, which, even quoting Isaiah, speaks of announcing to the people the arrival of the Lord. This is he who was spoken of through the prophet Isaiah, a voice of one calling in the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord, make straight paths for him. Secondly, this expected one is described in Isaiah as the one in whom the Lord delighted. This mirrors the words that came from heaven when Jesus was being baptized by John the Baptist in Matthew chapter 3, verse 17, which in the Amplified Version says, "And behold, a voice from heaven said, 'This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased and delighted.'" It is notable that the one in Isaiah who delighted the Father was a servant, and the one in Matthew was a son. Thirdly, the Lord in Isaiah says that he would put his spirit on the servant, while in Matthew, at the baptism scene, Matthew chapter 3, verse 16 says this. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. At that moment, heaven was opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. These three converging conditions in both books, namely that God would publicly point out the one who was chosen, and that the Lord was delighted in him, and that the Spirit of God would be placed on him, establish that the servant and the Son are one and the same person, and that the promised Son would be revealed first as a servant. This humble starting place for the servant of God would take him through paths of rejection, scorn, accusations, and trials that ended in death, but out of that, the perfection of the Son of God would cause him to rise from death and ascend to the right hand of the Father, the servant now revealed as the King of glory. Amen.